volatile, hugely up, everything except for Walmart, a little bit down. Sorry about that, crypto dream, but that's the story. So stock market, huge. But the big news as far as crypto goes is that we've got this ruling saying that XRP is not a security. Now, this is where you're not getting the full story, but I want to start with the bullish case, and I want you to understand the positives of this. And then I need to tell you something that no one else is telling you about this that's really, really important, and possibly what some people are starting to realize now, and maybe why we've seen a bit of a crypto pullback as a result of the last thing I'm going to show you. But the first thing, for those of you that don't know, there's been this court case between Ripple and the the Fed, right? And that's been going on for and that's been going on for 3 years at the moment. We finally had a landmark decision, a ruling. The federal judge in New York ruled that Ripple Labs XRP token is only a security when it's sold to institutional investors, but not when someone goes onto Coinbase as an example and buys the token. So this means that it's also going to happen that Ethereum will not be declared a security, Solana will not be declared a security by consumers, right? But it might happen with institutional people, but by consumers, by this, if Ripple isn't, we can safely say that Ethereum isn't, and that Solana isn't, and most of the others aren't. And that's why we saw the pump that we saw. If you have a look over here, here's Meta Lawman saying XRP as a digital token is not in and of itself a contracts transactional scheme that embodies the Howey requirement of an investment. So they were saying here that the last criteria for the Howey test is that the person buying, did they reasonably expect the money to be reinvested for a return? And that was not met in this case, according to this judge. And this is a proper ruling. Now, the thing with these rulings is that it does set legal precedent that can be relied on. And it's almost as if it's law. So now anyone at any stage, including Coinbase, is currently in this big fight with the Fed, they can come out and say, hold on, because of this ruling with XRP, now there is a basis in law that's proven, and that's a precedent, and therefore, how can we be considered a security, and so on and so forth. So this is bullish news, and this is the reason that we saw the pump that we saw, right? And it's a big win. It really, really is. But then, the hard part about it, and what people are not telling you, is that this is not the final decision, in that it can still be appealed. So this wasn't the highest court. This is a high court, but it's not the highest. So the Fed can still, the SEC can still, sorry, I keep saying the Fed, the SEC can still appeal this decision, and I'm pretty certain that they will. And then once that appeal has been heard by a higher court, if it still maintains this court's ruling, then it is as bullish as everyone says it is. But for now, the ruling is in the favor and more positive than negative for crypto by far. And it's a great first step, but it's not the final hurdle between Ripple and the SEC.
Sheesh. Guys, that is the general. I was gonna say, yeah, that's the general gist of what I've been seeing from a lot of content creators as well. So if you guys are ready for Philip to drop the actual alpha, which is the information that their favorite influencers have not told you, you guys know what to do. You guys already know what I'm gonna ask. Guys, you gotta smash that like button. You gotta hit that subscribe. Gotta follow. We got all the fucking content for you. Yes, Philip, bro, drop it. What happened, bro? What's the other thing?
Yeah, so that's the one thing. For one, the SEC, I'll just read it directly. For one, the SEC still has the ability to appeal this decision made by the judge. Secondly, the final word on crypto assets regulatory classification can come from Congress, even with this ruling. Even if this ruling was the final ruling from the highest court in the land that could not be appealed, Congress can still make legislation that will be higher than a court ruling. So it's not ironclad now. It's a step in the right direction. It's a big step in the right direction. However, the SEC, and knowing how they are and the way that they just go to court with everything, they are going to appeal this. And when they do, there's going to be a pullback on all these tokens, the gains that we've seen. So just having a look at the gains that we've